Well, hello and welcome back to Read Becca. It's Tuesday, so it is time once again for a tag, and I was tagged by Kevin Toll Reads for the Honey Shelf tag. This originated with Essie over at the novel Honey Shelf. And as you will see when we go through the prompts, it is entirely themed on things going on in the beehive. So prompt number 1 is Brood, your favorite child or children in literature. And this is a returning frequent flyer for tags, Anne with an E of Anne of Green Gables. This is such an imaginative, dramatic child who I connect with so much, and I just love her. She's a wonderful little orphan who comes to live in error with a brother and sister who are aging and need help taking care of their farm, and she just finds family and community, and it's so charming. So then number 2 is Drone, your favorite male character in a book, and another frequent flyer is Small Gods, and the character is Brother, and he is searching out belief and the meanings thereof and religion within the disc world in this standalone kind of on the disc. And it's a fantasy, but much more philosophical, I think, than your typical. Number 3 is Hive, a house or home in literature that you find memorable. And for that I have Nevermore, The Trials of Morgan Crow, and it runs through the whole series. Morgan Crow comes to live in a hotel, not a house, but she lives there, so it is her home, and it is very strange and magical. The rooms and just things throughout the hotel are constantly magically shifting and changing, so it's never quite the same twice. Number 4 is Orientation Flight, a memorable coming-of-age character. Perhaps one of the most memorable characters in the world coming of age is Lamb, a gospel according to Biff, Christ's childhood pal. This is the very humorous and perhaps blasphemous telling of Christ's lost years, as he would have been coming of age, through the eyes of his fictional best friend. And it's a delight to read. And then we have Waggle Dance, a book you love so much it makes you want to dance. And for that I have Essie. This is just pretty much a perfect book. It's exactly as long as it needs to be. There's nothing out of place in it, and I would struggle to think of anyone I couldn't recommend it to. But it's also too weird to really describe. You kind of go into this very strange house of infinite rooms, and you're following a man who is uncovering with you, the reader, what's going on there. And so it reads very like a thriller, though it almost certainly is not. And it's slightly fantastical, though also kind of not. It's many things, and it's a really wonderful book. And I'm supposed to get a bonus if I do a dance, but I am a person who needs choreography in order to dance. So number 6 is June Gap, your favorite summertime book, and that's a very easy one. That's Dandelion Wine by Ray Bradbury. This is such a perfect little collection of vignettes that are sort of magical realist and following boyhood summer, really. It really captures that magic of childhood summers all the way from the beginning and getting out of school to the waning of summer and looking toward fall. It's just a beautiful collection of vignettes. Then we have Honeycomb, show your book storage, shelving, and organization. So you can obviously see this main shelf, but I have several other shelves, so cue the shelves. Next, we have Colony, your favorite family or found family in literature. And this was hard because I tend to reach for a lot of books with found families in them. So we went for a kind of non-traditional one, and that is Tehanu. This is one of the later books in the Wizard of Earthsea series, or the Earthsea series. And this is so unusual because we're following an older woman, and she has adopted a child who's been abused and disfigured. And the bond that they form, the relationship that they have, is so meaningful. And so I think that as a form of family is so wonderful, the depiction here. But I also just love that over the course of this series, she kind of starts, this older woman is a young person in the beginning of the series, and then we kind of jump to this latter part of her life. So Le Guin tackled something completely novel in opposite directions in this series, in The Wizard of Earthsea. She was an innovator of what does it look like for a wizard to be someone young and go to school at the beginning of the series. And then she jumped into this later story where here in Tehanu, we're looking at the heroes as they're aging. What does it look like for the heroes of the story to be winding down their life and the waning of power? And this is just such an incredible series, and this particular book is truly, truly fantastic. Next we have Extraction. Tell about a book you have unhauled or DNF'd. So this was kind of a tough one because I don't unhaul or DNF, but I will give you one that I DNF'd last year, and that was Carefree Black Girls by Zebba Play. And there wasn't necessarily anything terrible about the writing. It was just the exact opposite of what the title and subtitle were actually promising. So I walked away from that one because of it, because it was not what I was in the mood for at the moment. Next one is Queen Bee, your favorite fictional female or female historical figure from before 1900. For that, I will go to Lysistrata. And this is all about a historical sex strike. And Lysistrata is the inciting woman who I love, and this is so humorous and funny. The women are very sharp, and of course their sex strike works to stop a war. So next is Bee Bread, a food mentioned in the book you would love to make and eat. And for that I have A Slice of Mars. This is all about a pizza shop on Mars, but because it's far future science fiction, this pizza shop is being started up in a very, very high technology world, and the people starting it are kind of all like STEM nerds, experts in their craft, and so they're actually doing things like bioengineering the food and thinking about algorithmic marketing, stuff like that, rather than like hand making pizzas necessarily. And so these pizzas are very, very cool and intricate. They have neat geometric patterns because they're basically kind of 3D printing these pizzas, the bioengineering aspect of it. And like some of them have intricate mandalas all over the pizza, and I would just love to see and eat that. Or perhaps just admire it and not eat it. I don't know. The next one is Granulation, the book you have left unread the longest and just sitting somewhere. So I don't know that this is necessarily the longest, but this is probably the most shameful that I should have read by now, and it taunts me on the shelf, and that is House of Leaves. And I think this is probably one that is the same for many people. I've seen people over the years who are like, I've had it so long and I just never read it because it's very daunting. This is kind of a mixed media format with multiple layers of storytelling where there's kind of annotations throughout and things like that. And so it tends to be a challenging read, I think. So I've had it for years. I think I would love it, but I just haven't read it. And I keep meaning to and just not doing it. And lastly, we have Honeybees Have 4 Wings, 2 larger and 2 smaller. Tag 2 larger booktubers and 2 smaller booktubers. So I think I will tag Beth Ann Bruniga Socolar and Wild Hearts and Wildflowers because they seem very bee appropriate. And then I will also tag Erin Read a Book, Erin Read a Book, and Margaret Pinard because they do a lot of tags. So I think they will probably get to this one. So that is it for the tag. If you do not have your own channel to do the tag, let me know in the comments down below a book for the colony prompt, your favorite family or found family, because as I mentioned, I'm always looking for good found families especially. So give me some suggestions on that one. Yeah, so that is the tag. Thank you all so very much for joining me today.